Hi, everyone. Glad to be back here with all of you here at the river for some really nice time together. Haven't been down to the river in a little bit. I know. So it's so great to actually be able to be here with all of you right now. A beautiful morning. And not only is it a beautiful morning, I actually see some of the green coming back. Looks like there's some life in the grass. And the trees have the tiniest little buds of leaves coming back. It's pretty nice. Absolutely love it out here. A quick visual descriptor. I have long brown hair, glasses, black coat and hood, coffee mug in hand. We have the river behind me, the trees. We're up here in the gazebo in the public park space. It's pretty nice. We got some birds. We have that flowing water. The sun is trapped behind the clouds in the distance. Ooh, I apologize. Sun is trapped behind the clouds in the distance, but it's pretty nice. I hope you have your coffee or tea, whatever it might be, whatever gets your day going, whatever makes your day wonderful. I have some coffee here. I'm a coffee person. It's just so nice to start the day with a cup of coffee for myself. It's something I really enjoy. You know what else I enjoy? Art. If you've been following me for a while or you've been watching my streams for some time, you know I'm an artist. And not just that, I'm a filmmaker and I'm an author. With award winning films, short films, many paintings, a digital gallery that you can visit online, a number of publications if you like fantasy or sci fi. But there's something that's really important as an artist, and that's improving our skills. No matter what your skill set is, no matter what kind of artist you are, we're always looking to improve our skills to be better, to do better, to get to the next point in our growth, in our career, and our work. And there's so many ways that that can come about, but there's a there's a little issue that comes up as an artist or as a creator of any sort. We often can find ourselves allowing our weaknesses to override our confidence in our strengths. And that's a tough thing. It can be very difficult when you spend all of your time looking at the things that you can't do well. Let's talk for a moment about why that really isn't an impediment. We're going to discuss first two people that maybe you've heard of their work, even if you don't know who they are. And that's Rob Liefeld and Mike Mignola. Um, if you're not familiar with them, Rob Liefeld is the creator of Deadpool, which of course became a multi-million-dollar movie franchise. And Mike Mignola created Hellboy, another multi-million-dollar film franchise. So why do I bring up comic book artists? What could they possibly have to do with what I'm talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. They didn't allow something which in and to themselves in their art skills was a weakness define whether or not they could be successful. Rob Liefeld is often joked about as the man who can't draw feet. And imagine being a comic book artist and you can't draw feet. Well, Mike Mignola also not really great at drawing feet. Can you find them in their comics? Of course you can. However, most of their early careers, they would do a lot to hide or otherwise just not show those things that they couldn't draw very well, or that they didn't have a lot of skill drawing reliably and consistently. Despite this fact, they went on to have very successful careers as comic book artists, and their creations became very large icons in the comic book world. It didn't matter that their creators more or less almost always drew them lacking a portion of the body. And it didn't matter that the artists continued that way for a long time. It's become so synonymous with at least Rob Liefeld, whose name I think I'm mispronouncing, but they actually make jokes about it in the Deadpool movies about how he can't draw feet. But nonetheless, he was successful. Nonetheless, he went on to have a very big career. There was an aspect of the body that he couldn't do as an artist, but it didn't matter, and it didn't stop him from writing hundreds of comics, from illustrating hundreds of comics. And to take it back for a second, just in case you think I'm pointing out just a couple contemporary artists, there's another really famous example, and that's Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, of course, was an amazing artist. We've seen tons of his art, or at least are aware of it. But he avoided very completely drawing the lower half of the human body. He would draw almost entirely from the waist up. Now, did he draw or paint entire people? Yes. But some of his most famous paintings only show from the waist up. Despite the fact that he shied away from doing entire full body portraits, entire full body paintings and drawings, despite the fact that the bulk of his work avoids this, and despite the fact that we know based off his journals and his notebooks and other pieces of his art that he could do the whole form, he avoided this. It was not a strength for him. Well, possibly. Of course, I'm taking some liberty in my way of breaking this down, but it doesn't change the fact that The Last Supper, the Mona Lisa, both showed people only from the on the top half. It doesn't change the fact that the majority of his great works, including his famous painting of Jesus, only show the top part of the person. He avoided the rest. It didn't really impact his skill. It didn't impact his uh, lasting impression on our culture and the world. And it didn't change the fact that he was an amazing artist, that he would avoid this aspect. Our weaknesses or things that we don't feel necessarily confident in doing are not what define our skills. They're not what define our capacity, our passion, our ability. And most certainly, they aren't what's going to define whether or not you're going to be amazing at what you do. It's up to us to make the creations, to create these beautiful works, to put out what our passions are into the world. Morning, everyone. I see people joining from LinkedIn and Twitch. It's great to see all of you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I hope that you're doing awesome. No matter what your passion is, no matter what kind of artist or creator or communicator or educator you are, whether you get on video and go live, whether you paint, whether you draw, whether you write, whether you stand on a stage and perform, it is never going to be the things that you're not good at or that you don't feel confident in that decide whether or not you're an amazing creator, whether you're a successful creator. Those things that aren't our strengths are just that. They're not our strengths. It's our strengths that are going to define our capabilities. But even then, that's not true because our strengths only define one way that we can display our capabilities. that we can show people what we can do. A large amount of what's going to determine success is passion. It's hard work. And if you have things right now that you think you're not particularly good at, that maybe you need to be good at for some reason to be creative in the way you want, question why you think you need to be able to do those things. Do you need to be able to do those things? It's a big question to ask. I mean, if someone like Rob Liefeld, who wasn't capable of drawing the entire human body, can turn into a cultural icon, and his creation can end up in multi-million-dollar movies, well, it just brings up a question of what are you capable of leaving to the world? Even if you don't have the ability to present everything in the way you wish you could. Confidence has a lot to do with it. The dream, the goal, what we're striving for. Myself as a creator, as an artist, as a filmmaker, as an author, I strive to bring the beauty of my imagination, the curiosity of my stories, the questions I have inside. I strive to bring that to all of you, to give it to you all as a sort of shared gift. I mean, I get these little questions in my mind, and then it can unfurl into a whole story, a novel, a short story, a poem, and I want to share that with you. I have thoughts about my emotions and my inner world, and I create a film about that inner world, and then I share it with all of you because that's my passion. It's what I want to give. I paint and I draw and I create because I'm driven to. And if you're a creator, if you're an artist, you're an educator, if you're a doer of some sort, any sort, whatever those things are that you want to do, that you're driven to do, you should do. And if you think for any reason you can't do it, question why you would ask yourself that. It most certainly did not stop Mike Mignola from leaving us Hellboy. Mike Mignola couldn't draw most of the human body, but he left us a comic book character who became a cultural icon, a touchstone for a generation of people that led into a movie franchise. Leonardo da Vinci avoided drawing most of the human body entirely, and in The Last Supper, all the apostles are shown pretty much from the waist up, and then under the table you can see some of their feet. But Leonardo da Vinci left a legacy of amazing work that we still appreciate today and we still see as beautiful and moving. And there's so many other creators out there, and there's so many other artists and musicians and doers and writers and filmmakers and communicators that even if they don't have all the skills someone else has, are leaving their passions and their legacies to the world. You can do that too. And I hope you do. Now, I have to say, get yourself an extra cuppa. You all deserve one. Every single one of you deserves an extra cuppa. Coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Whatever gets your day going. Whatever makes you feel good. Not my coffee. Thank you, everyone who's been here today. Now, I'm just going to leave you with one thing really quick. There's going to be a link somewhere nearby, depending on where you're joining me. And that is for the Art of Feeling and Abstract Expression Art Workshop. It's the third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And anyone and everyone is welcome to join. Please consider signing up for a workshop, no matter what level of art skill you have, whether you've never painted or whether you've been painting for years. There's so much to learn because it's about so much more than art. It's about what's inside us and translating that into color, into shape, into passion on the canvas. Thank you, though, everyone, for being here today. Of course, also, I'm just going to jump back for 2 seconds. Yes, there is a recommended supplies list on the Eventbrite listing where you can sign up, and there's a link there so that you can actually pick up some budget supplies that I have in my Amazon storefront. But as long as you have something to paint with, something to paint on, and paint, you are good to go. So don't worry. One little bit about your supplies. Bring yourself, bring an open mind. Learn, grow, create together. But from me and the river, I wish you all an absolutely amazing day. Thank you for being here, and I'm going to see you all again really soon. Have yourself an extra cuppa. You all deserve one. You're amazing. I'm out of here, though. Bye, everybody.